Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. Okay, right now it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay, so it's time for our class. Okay, so I just sharing my screen. Yeah. So last time we talked about the price equation. Remember? Okay, we construct the price equation under the assumption that we're gonna have two type of firms in the economy. The first one is gonna be the sticky price firms. The second one is gonna be the flexible price firms. Okay, and each of them gonna have their own price equation. After we combine it together, we have the price equation for the whole economy. And then after that we solve the equation, and then we got the aggregate supply equation, right? So last time we have aggregate supply equation AS, which is come from y equal to y bar plus alpha and p minus ep. Okay, this is the aggregate supply equation. And today the purpose of today's class, we're gonna solve the aggregate supply equation to get the Philip curve. Okay, today we're gonna derive how Philip curve comes from. Okay, and what is a Philip curve anyway? Philip curve is gonna be the concept about to show the relationship between inflation. Inflation, we're gonna use pi, and unemployment. Okay, unemployment, which we're gonna use u. Okay, so today we're gonna using the aggregate supply equation, try to find the Philip curve. Okay, and Philip curve is gonna showing the relationship between inflation and unemployment. Okay, so let's start. Okay, starting with the aggregate supply equation. Okay, we have y equal to y bar plus alpha p minus ep, like this. I'm gonna rearrange the equation, moving y bar to the left. I got y minus y bar equal to alpha p minus ep. And then I can divide alpha on both sides. I'm gonna get 1 over alpha y minus y bar equal to p minus ep. And then I can plus ep on both sides. I got ep plus 1 over alpha y minus y bar equal to p. And rearranging the equation again, I got p equal to ep plus 1 over alpha and y minus y bar. So this one is actually we converted the aggregate supply equation back to the price equation. Okay, as you learned before. Okay, the price of everything in the economy, the price is gonna going up or going down depend on two factors. Okay, the first factor is ep, expected price. The second factor is gonna be y minus y bar. It means the whole economy. Okay, so for the first factor, if every firms in the economy thinking that the price is going to be increasing in the future, if expected price increasing, the price level going to increasing right now today. If everyone thinking that the price is going to going down, expected price going down, the price going to going down right now. Okay, this is the first factor that can affect P or price, which is come from expected price, how people think, how people expect about the price. The second one, y minus y bar, this means the whole economy. Okay, if y greater than y bar, this bracket is gonna be positive, which means when economy is very good, everything is gonna become more expensive. Okay, p gonna going up. On the other hand, if y less than y bar, this bracket is negative, right? When economy is bad, everything is gonna be cheaper. Okay, this is a second factor that can affect the price. Okay, it means the GDP in the economy, y minus y bar. Okay, these two factors that can affect the price level in the economy. However, we're gonna adding one more factor into the equation. Okay, the other factor is gonna be factor number 3, which is gonna be V. We're gonna use V. Okay, V. V, this one come from, okay, stand for supply shock, okay. V, this guy is come from supply shock. Supply shock is mean any external factor that can affect the cost of production, okay. Any external factor that can affect the cost of production, okay. For example, if V is going up, okay, if V is going up, it means that for some reason, for some factor, okay, the cost of production become higher. For example, right now we have the war between Ukraine and Russia, right? Energy price going up, everything become more expensive. The cost of production going up, okay? This is the case of V increasing. On the opposite way, we're gonna have the case of V decreasing. This one is mean that maybe we have a new technology, we have a new robot, and it can decrease the cost of production. If V going down, it means the cost of production going down, okay? So V is gonna be the third factor in the equation. If V going up, P is gonna going up. The cost of production going up, the price level is gonna going up. If V going down, it means that the cost of production become lower, then the price of the product become lower, decreasing, okay? So after we adding the third factor, V, as a supply shock into the equation, in the end, we're gonna have the new equation like this. We're gonna have P equal to EP plus 1 over alpha, Y minus Y bar plus V, okay? So this is what we want. This is the full price equation, okay? The full price equation, okay? So next thing, we're gonna go into the next slide. After we have the price equation, that is P equal to EP plus 1 over alpha, Y minus Y bar plus V. Okay, after we have this equation, then the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna adding P minus 1 into the equation. What is P minus 1 anyway? P is, of course, the price level. Okay, the price of the product in the economy. Minus 1 is mean the previous period, okay, the previous period. So this is like the price in the previous periods. If price is about monthly data, P minus 1 is the price of the last month. If our data is annually, okay, P minus 1 is going to be the price of last year, okay. If P is a daily data, P minus 1 is like the price level of yesterday, okay. So this is a price level of the previous period, okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna minus P minus 1 on both sides of the equation, okay, just like this, minus P minus 1, okay. We're gonna put P minus 1 both sides of the equation. The less is the same, okay, the less is the same. And then, as you can see from here, P minus 1, expected price minus P minus 1. This one become inflation or pi, because inflation is gonna be the story about the changing of price. Okay, pi stand for inflation. Normally, inflation is gonna be in the percentage terms. Okay, for example, if I say that this quarter inflation is 3%. If I say that inflation is 3%, it means that this quarter, everything in the economy become more expensive than the last quarter, 3%. Okay. So normally pi or inflation is about the changing of price. So it's like price today minus price yesterday. Okay. So P minus 1 is actually inflation. So we're gonna write down as a pi. Expected price, what people think about price today minus price yesterday or in the previous period, we call it as expected inflation, E pi, okay? The less is the same, okay? The less is the same. This is what we have, okay? And then after that, okay, we're gonna focus on this one, 1 over alpha and Y minus Y bar, okay? This guy, 1 minus alpha and multiplied by Y minus Y bar, we're going to apply the concept of O'Cool law, okay? We're going to apply the concept of O'Cool law over here, okay? The concept of O'Cool law, okay, they're going to have their own equation, which is 1 over alpha y minus y bar, okay, equal to minus beta u minus un. The question is, what is the meaning of this equation? Okay, so we're going to go into the next slide, okay, to explain about the Occam law. Okay, let me write down here, Occam law. Occam law is going to be the concept to showing the relationship, okay, to show the relationship between GDP or Y with the unemployment, okay, GDPY with unemployment U, okay. So the equation of Occam law, 1 over alpha y minus y bar equal to minus beta u minus un. What does it mean? Okay, what does it mean by this equation? You know y is a GDP. You know y bar is a GDP at the full employment level. You know u is unemployment. One thing that you don't know over here is UN. Okay, let me write down here. UN is a natural rate of unemployment. Okay, natural rate of unemployment. This is like the number, okay, the reference number for the unemployment. UN is like the reference number for the unemployment. You can imagine that it's impossible to make unemployment to be zero. Okay, if unemployment equal to zero, it means that everyone gonna get a job, right? But in the real world, it's impossible, because you can imagine that we're gonna have many people who they don't want to work at all. They maybe come from the rich family, or they maybe come from the middle class, but they are lazy. They don't want to go to work. They just stay at home with their mom, with their dad. They don't want to do anything. Okay, just spending their family money. Okay, so UN, this is like the lowest number of unemployment. For example, in USA, UN is around 3%, 2 to 3%. This is like the best number of unemployment. It's impossible to make unemployment to be equal to zero. So 2% or 3%, this is the best. Okay, so UN, this is like the reference number. Same thing with Y bar. Y bar is also reference number. Y bar is a GDP that everyone, okay, who want to work, they get a job. Okay, this is like full employment level. Everyone who want to work, they all get a job. This is Y bar. Okay. However, as I told you, in the economy, many people they don't want to work at all. Okay, so full employment level doesn't mean that unemployment have to be equal to zero. Okay, because there are many people willing to be unemployed, willing to stay at home. Okay, they love it. Okay, so Y bar is a reference number. This is like the best of the GDP level. UN also the reference number. This is like the lowest number of unemployment in the economy in the country. Okay. So after you understand this one, we're going to compare between the right side and the left side of the equation. Okay, so let's see. For example, okay, the best point, okay, the best point, if a GDP Y equal to Y bar, this is like the best point. The GDP that everyone get a job, full employment level. If Y equal to Y bar, the left side of the equation equal to zero, right? If the left side of the equation equal to zero, what does it mean? It means that the right side of the equation have to be equal to zero, which means that U have to be equal to UN. You see that? Okay, so if GDP stay at the best point equal to Y bar, U as an unemployment is also equal to the best point, equal to natural rate of unemployment. Okay, both sides of the equation equal to zero. Okay, on the other hand, if Y greater than Y bar, okay, this is mean the economy is very good. Y GDP is even greater than Y bar. Okay, Y bar is a reference number, right? This means the economy is very good, right? It's very good. Okay, Y greater than Y bar. The left side of the equation is positive. Now focus on the right side. On the right side, as you can see, we have minus beta in front of the bracket. Okay, so this means if the left side is positive, the right side have to be positive, right? But we have negative in front of the bracket. In the bracket have to be negative. So U is less than UN. Negative and negative equal to positive, right? Okay. So that's why the left side is positive. The right side also positive. As you can see here, when economy is good, Y greater than Y bar, the unemployment is very low. Okay, U is less than UN. Okay, unemployment is very low. Okay, when economy is good, unemployment is very low. Okay, on the opposite way, if I change the blue color, when economy is bad, y less than y bar, the left side of the equation is negative. Okay, economy is bad. When economy is bad, the left side is a negative. The right side in front of the bracket is negative. So it means that in the bracket have to be positive. U is going to be greater than UN. You seeing that? Okay. When economy is bad, unemployment is going to be high, right? When economy is bad, nobody going to spending the money. Okay, business sector, they're going to sell less of the product, right? So they're going to reduce their production. When they reduce their production, they're going to lay off a lot of labor. So many people are going to lose their job. So when economy is bad, unemployment is going to be high. Or the opposite way, when economy is good, business is really good. Okay, business sector, they can sell a lot of the product. So they're going to increase their production. They're going to hire more labor. So that's why unemployment is going to be really low. Okay, this is the idea of Kuhn law, right? When economy is good, unemployment is low. When economy is bad, unemployment is going to be high. Okay, this is Kuhn law, the relationship between unemployment and the GDP. So after you understand the Kuhn law equation, we're going to plug in Kuhn law equation here, this guy. We're going to plug it in here, okay? So in the end, what you're going to have is you're going to have pi equal to expected of pi minus beta and U minus UN plus V, okay? This is what we want. After we plug in Kuhn law, we're going to have, okay, what we call Philip curve. Okay, this is Philip curve equation. Okay, finally we have Philip curve equation. So, okay, after we have Philip curve equation, let me write down the graph for you. Okay, write it here. Philip curve. Okay, we have pi equal to expected pi minus beta U minus UN plus V. Okay, like this. Then let me write down the graph over here. The Philip curve graph on the vertical is going to be pi, on the horizontal is going to be U. It's actually showing the relationship between pi and U. Okay, pi is here on the left side of the equation. U is inside the bracket. In front of the bracket, you have negative. Okay, negative. So, okay, from the equation, you can see that if unemployment is high, okay, when unemployment is high, in front of you is minus beta. You can see that when unemployment is high, the right side of the equation is going to be low. It means that pi is going to be low. On the other hand, when unemployment is low, pi is going to be high. From the equation, it's showing the relationship between U and pi, right? You can see that the relationship between U and pi. Okay, if unemployment is high, when unemployment is high, it means that economy is bad. When unemployment is low, it means the economy is good. Okay, so everything is going to be more expensive. Inflation is going to going up. So when we see the negative relationship between unemployment and inflation like this, we can drawing the Philip curve graph. It's going to be like this. Okay, the Philip curve always have a negative slope. Okay, the Philip curve always have a negative slope because if you see point A to point B, when unemployment is low, U1, inflation is going to be high. Everything is become more expensive. Point B, moving from point A to point B, if unemployment become higher, it means the economy is bad. Everything in the economy is going to be cheaper. Okay, always have a negative relationship between inflation and unemployment. Okay, that's it. Next one. Okay, next one. If I copy this one and paste this here. Oh, no. Let me write everything, write down everything again. Okay, so for the Philip curve, from the equation pi equal to expected pi minus beta u minus un plus v. Okay, we have the graph like this. This is u, o, and pi. Okay, for example, I have Philip curve like this. Okay, this is Philip curve. The reference point, for example, I have the reference point at point A. Okay, point A is a point that UN is gonna be here. Okay, this is the, let me say, the reference point. UN is here. The national rate of unemployment is here. So at point A, okay, if U equal to UN, look at point A. If U equal to UN, from the main equation, okay, if U equal to UN, what does it mean? It means this bracket is going to be equal to 0. When U equal to UN, this bracket is disappear, so pi is going to be equal to expected apply plus V. Okay, so at point A, this is a reference point. Okay, point A, if unemployment equal to UN, national rate, it means that pi is going to be equal to expected pi plus supply shock V. Okay, that's it. This is a reference point. We call it as a point A. Okay, the point that national rate of unemployment is here. Okay. So after we construct the Philip curve, after it's showing you how the reference point A come from, okay. Next thing, we're gonna showing you two type of, okay, gonna showing you two type of inflation. Okay, two type of inflation. The first one, okay, we're gonna call it as demand pull inflation. Okay, so I'm gonna showing you two graphs. Okay, one on the left and one on the right. Okay, on the left is gonna be, on the horizontal is y, on the vertical is p. You're gonna have aggregate supply curve. You're gonna have aggregate, oh wait, aggregate demand curve and aggregate supply curve. You have equilibrium point. This is y1. This is p1. And on the right hand side, you have the Philip curve. Vertical is pi, horizontal is u. Okay, this is Philip curve. And the reference point may be here, point A, u1 equal to un, pi 1 equal to expected pi plus v. Let me copy this one and paste this again. Okay, so I can show you the second type of inflation. Okay, so for the first one, demand pull inflation. What is it? How it look like? Okay, demand pull inflation. This is the inflation that come from demand side. Okay, this is a situation that for some reason the household sector they consume more. For some reason the business sector they invest more. For some reason the government may be using deficit fiscal policy. The government spend more and tax less. Or for some reason the international trade is good for our country. We export more and import less. Okay, all of these factors can shift aggregate demand curve to the right. Remember, aggregate demand curve come from y equal to c plus I plus g plus x minus m. This is the situation that demand for the whole country gonna be increasing, shift to the right. That's why we call demand pull inflation. Aggregate demand curve shift to the right, equilibrium point moving from E1 to E2. And as you can see, GDP increasing from Y1 to Y2. See that? GDP increasing from Y1 to Y2. And not only that, price level going up from P1 to P2. You seeing that? Okay, so demand for the whole country increasing, which is maybe come from consumption, maybe come from investment, maybe come from fiscal policy, or maybe come from the international trade. Okay, it's make GDP increasing. So let me change to the red color. Okay, GDP increasing, what does it mean? When GDP increasing, the output total product for the whole country increasing, it means that the whole country we're going to produce more. They're going to have to hire more labor. So it's implied that unemployment is going to be low, right? On the other hand, the price level going up, it means that we have inflation, pie increasing. How is going to affect the Philip curve on the right? In this case, it's going to be the case of moving along the curve from A to B. Moving along the curve from A to B, unemployment become lower from U1 to U2, and you can see that U2 is less than UN. Okay, U2 is less than UN because it's on the left side of UN. And inflation increasing more than normal from pi 1 to pi 2. Inflation increasing, unemployment reducing, moving from point A to point B on the same Philip curve. Okay, this is a case of moving along the curve. This is the first one, okay? Demand pull inflation. Everything become more expensive. Inflation become higher because of the demand side, okay? Then we're gonna go to the second one, okay? The second one, number two here is what we call cost push inflation, okay? Cost push inflation. This is inflation that comes from the supply side, okay? The situation is like this. For some reason, the cost of production become increasing, okay? We have like supply shock, V increasing. Where is V? V is here. See that? V increasing, let's say V1, okay? For some reason, the cost of production increasing. Maybe we have a war, for example, right now we have the war between Ukraine and Russia. Maybe come from energy price, okay? Energy price, the price of oil, the price of natural gas increasing. Maybe come from COVID-19, many factories have to be closed. We have supply shock, right? Okay, because labor get COVID and they have to close the whole factory, like what happened in China. Okay, they cannot produce as they can. Okay, all of this problem, okay, all of this problem is make the cost of production increasing. When the cost of production increasing, aggregate supply curve will shift to the left, like this. Okay, equilibrium point change from E1 to E2. And as you can see, GDP reducing. The whole economy slow down. In the same time, the price level going up. You see that? Okay. The whole economy slowing down. Okay. I'm gonna change to the red color. When the whole economy is slowing down, what does it mean? It means that firm they need to reduce their production, right? They're gonna lay off a labor. It's implied that unemployment is gonna be rising. In the same time, everything in the economy become more expensive, inflation increasing. When you have the recession, okay, the economy slow down, in the same times with inflation problem, we call it as a stagflation. I want you to do more homework about stagflation. You don't have to send me the homework, okay? You just need to do the research more. What is stagflation, okay? Try to do more research about the word stagflation. I may give you in the exam, okay? Stagflation, okay? Stagflation is a situation that you have the problem on the economy in the same time with the inflation, okay? The economy slow down and everything become more expensive. So the next question is how it's going to affect the Philip curve about the cost put inflation, okay? It's going to affect the Philip curve. Philip curve going to shift to the right from point A to point B. It's going to going up to the right because unemployment is rising from U1 to U2. Unemployment increasing higher than national rate. In the same time, you have supply shock V increasing. Pi increasing to pi 1 to pi 2. Pi 2 equal to expected pi plus V2. Okay. Inflation increasing because we have supply shock. Okay, that is represented by V. Okay, so this is how it looks like for the second type of inflation, cost push inflation. Everything become more expensive because of cost of production. Okay. That's it. Then go to the last one. Finally, we're done with this chapter. Okay, as you can see that we have three main very important variables. We have Y, which stands for GDP. We have U, which is stand for unemployment, right? And we have P and pi, which is stand for price level and inflation, right? These three variables is very important for macroeconomics, right? And then after we learn in this chapter, we have equation that tell the relationship between GDP Y and the price P, which is aggregate supply equation, right? We have Y equal to Y bar plus alpha P minus EP. This aggregate supply equation showing the relationship between Y and P. And on the other hand, okay, we have O'Cool law, okay, which is showing the relationship between Y and U, 1 over alpha Y minus Y bar equal to minus beta U minus UN. Okay, and the last one, we have Philip curve, okay, which is showing the relationship between inflation and unemployment. Okay, O'Cool law showing the relationship between Y and U, Philip curve showing the relationship between pi and U minus UN plus V. So it's become a triangle, okay, a triangle of GDP, price level, and unemployment, okay, which is represented by three main equations: aggregate supply curve, O'Cool law, and Philip curve. Okay, done. Okay, with this chapter, it's all done. So before you go, okay, I give you homework 12. I want you to review, watch the YouTube. You can search for the economics of idea. Okay, you're gonna see 3 clips. I want you to watch it and write down 3 pages of the PDF. Submit it here. You have 1 week to do. The deadline is the midnight, okay, of the next Friday night. Okay, that's it. This is homework 12. So today we're gonna stop here, but don't forget that tomorrow I'm gonna give you the makeup class. Tomorrow is Saturday, October 1st. I'm gonna give you the makeup class from 2:30 to 3:30. Okay, just 1 hour. Just 1 hour. Okay, tomorrow. And I plan to finish everything by next week. We're gonna have makeup class on Saturday, tomorrow, and we're gonna have class again on next Tuesday and next Friday. And next Friday is gonna be the last class, and we're gonna close our class. Okay, next Friday is gonna be the last class, then we're done. Okay, you're gonna have a lot of free time to preparing for your final exam. Okay, that's it. Any question? So that's good. Okay, so bye bye and see you tomorrow.